You can watch Jill dance to this all day long. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, September 11th, 2012. This is the 404 show on CNET. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
I'm Justin Yu.
I'm Jill Schlesinger.
I'm Ariel Nunez, and this is the show where Apple saves the economy.
Yep.
By the way, my girlfriend said to me that I was so mean to Ariel last time I was on. Oh my God. She's like, why were you so mean to that guy? Like, he wrote the music. How could you do that?
He composed
Ariel,
the music.
Yeah, that's kind of mean. It's okay.
Ariel. Aw, they're kissing and making up.
okay.
I felt so bad.
Ariel's got thick skin.
Yeah,
he does.
My feelings don't get hurt easy.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Obviously,
he's
when
so
you wear a shirt
hard.
like that.
I'm just going to clap. I'm just going to clap.
Golf
That's
clap.
mean.
That
Oh, my gosh.
is that in honor of Fashion Week? You
I think so.
Well,
Yeah.
No, the best
Well,
part
I like
is that you probably don't even mean that. You just said it because it was funny. And that's what I love about it.
Just trying to save you, right?
Yeah, totally.
Run with it,
Right,
Jill. Run
right.
with it.
You know, there's not everybody thinks that I'm funny, and they are wrong.
Oh,
you know, you
what
never
it's
know.
like.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, what's
Yeah.
been going on?
Nothing. You know, I don't want to talk a lot about this, but you don't really realize the date until you say it,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think we should have a little bit of a moment. It is
Well,
September 11th.
I
It's
just-
sort of.
I mean, yeah, you could do your moments and whatnot. That's,
Well, why
that's
don't we just
fine.
do a quick, like, where were you?
Oh, I was in college. I was in Maryland, and it was like right before I was heading to class.
Mm.
And it was weird because my roommate across the hall, because we shared a bathroom, he said that he's like, "Oh, it's just some accident." I'm like, "I don't think this is an accident, dude. There's a lot of planes crashing. I don't think it's an accident."
Yeah.
And this is a dude from like Queens who's not. A lot of people in Maryland didn't, and I'm not generalizing. The people that I interacted with when I was down there at school, they just sort of didn't get it. They were like, "Oh, that sucks." You
Right,
know?
it was disconnected.
Right.
Right.
I was like, "No, man, those are big, really, really big buildings.
Yeah.
This is bad."
Mm.
You know. And then I remember getting a call from my dad, and he was freaked out. But yeah, that's where I was a couple hundred miles away.
Where were you, Justin?
I was
California?
I was in California. I was just getting to school. I had zero period. So my friend was taking me to class, and we were both in his car, and he was psyched because it's his birthday on September 11th.
Oh, no.
And neither of us had heard about it yet. And when we got to school, everyone was like, "Hey, come into the office. You know, we're all watching this broadcast on TV. You know, there's something crazy happened." So we go into the office, and they're all watching it. Maybe like 10, 15 people crowded around a tiny 13-inch black and white television.
Wow.
It was a very surreal thing. We just watched it for, I think, an hour and a half, 2 hours before finally getting to class. And then even throughout the day, no one really taught anything. They just had TV set up in front of the classrooms.
Yeah.
It really was so crazy. I was in Rhode Island. I was living in Providence at the time. I was downstairs running on my treadmill,
Yeah.
and I'm watching CNBC because I'm such a loser geek. And they were actually among the first to really report on it, and I completely freaked out. I called my brother-in-law, and I said quickly, like, who do we know? Who's there?
Mm-hmm.
And we ran through like 25 people who could potentially be there, who we knew, and we were trying to contact them.
Oh
and then
my
all the
gosh.
phone lines went down.
Yeah.
And then,
I remember
like,
cell phones weren't working. That was weird.
that was so weird. And then we were trying to figure out, where's my dad? My dad was on the board of the American Stock Exchange at the time, which is like right down on Wall Street. We couldn't figure out where is he. Couldn't get anything. Couldn't do anything. And then finally find out that he was nowhere near that. But
Right.
it was like suspended disbelief. It really it was. Now, Ariel, how old? This may be too. Were you really young?
No. I'm 34.
You are?
Yeah.
You're such a baby face.
Redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
Jill.
Now you
Well
want to be nice.
Recovery.
God.
Score one for the good guys. Where were you, dude?
So I was headed out to class, and then I walked into the living room, and my roommate was watching it on TV. And
You're in California?
yeah, I was at SF State. I was going to SF State.
Oh, okay.
And then and I just tried to call frantically to New York to all my family out here, and couldn't get through for hours.
That was really like that. The disconnection. I remember figuring out where like 5 different people were because a friend of mine from London had been on the phone with someone at a trading desk while the whole thing was going on before the phones went down. So he knew where people were.
Yeah.
It was pretty awful. And you know what's weird?
What's weird?
Well, so we think about it today. So someone said to me, "Oh, is this the worst days because you think about it?" And I said, "No, I think it's like the worst days when you don't think about it sometimes. Like that, when you don't really remember that this thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
I was thinking that this morning because this year, and you can, this is okay to talk like this, I think. This year, it's not as big as last year.
Right, because last year was the 10-year
Last year was the
anniversary.
10. We're big on numbers, our culture,
I know.
right? So Last year was 10, so it was like, oh my God, And I was wondering, how long will it take for there just not to be a thing anymore? Right? And I'm not saying that because I'm insensitive about people who a lot of people are still around.
Right. How long did it take for
ones.
people to say, like, where were you when Kennedy was shot?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the moon.
Right.
Or
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
Right.
December. Like, when did they just stop doing this?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is.
I feel like when it's been happened 25 years ago. What do you do?
The thing that is sort of disappointing, of course, is that the new tower is not yet done. It feels like, wow, in 11 years we couldn't build something. I know there's a lot of fighting about it.
I think, and I don't know, I feel like I'm just going to get it for
Here you go.
I think the inability to resurrect that tower is just a very accurate, symbolic sort of idea of what has happened to this country since that happened.
Wow, look at you with the metaphor.
I'm just saying, think about things are just. I just feel like everyone's bat crap crazy.
Yeah.
And it took so long. The second they started building, that thing shot up.
Yeah.
In 10 months. It was. They're like pretty much done.
Right.
It'll be done next year, but they're. The infrastructure, it's there.
Were you a fan of rebuilding something that high? I mean, as a New Yorker, I didn't always, I have to be honest, like I thought, I worked in the World Trade Center. My first job, I was in 4 World Trade Center. That's where the Commodities Exchange was. So I was in that building all the time. And I used to eat breakfast at Windows on the World once a week because if they validated your parking and you could park for like cheap, you could have breakfast and park for $15 a day, which we loved. That was a great deal.
Great deal.
Right? So we love that. And, so whatever. It's so random. You could have been there. But I have to say, I was not a fan of that building. And I was not, I don't know. I didn't necessarily feel like we should rebuild it. I almost felt like the open space would have been more interesting.
Well,
I'm
sort of like split on that. I think, I don't think we should have rebuilt the exact same ones. I know they were flirting with that idea for a while.
Yeah, that's weird.
That would have been just weird.
Totally.
That's like getting a new dog after it dies.
Yeah, with the same name.
With the same name, the same breed, and all that. Yeah. But I don't know. It's. I think this building's cool.
It's
gonna be amazing when it's fully done.
Yep.
It already is an unbelievable sight. You don't realize how big it is until you drive around the New York area. And when you're like on 495, like 20 miles away from the city, and you can see the top of it, it's huge.
Now, did you see the lights last night? Did you guys see that? Because you're
No.
downtown, so they put the light goes straight up. As,
Don't they do that today?
Well, they did it last night. I came out last night, and I could see it from the Upper West Side, looking down Broadway. You could see the halo of the light. It was very haunting.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a powerful symbolic gesture for sure.
So I guess we should say our condolences to anyone who lost somebody, of course. And what else are you going to say about it?
No, for sure. Yeah. It's just, now it's sort of just, I feel like half the people, they want to remember and they want to respect, and that's fine. Of course, you gotta do what makes you feel good.
Right.
But I think there's also a movement to sort of like move on.
Yeah. So you are not Jewish in this way.
Right.
That's what I would say to that response to that.
Nice.
Justin, back me up on this. The whole thing like never forget.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a very Jewish
sentiment. It's the whole Holocaust thing, right?
So this was like sort of an American
We shouldn't
Holocaust,
forget. I'm not
right?
saying we need to forget.
Right.
We just need to move on.
All right. No. Or remember, honor as we move on.
Of course.
Okay.
There's nothing.
I'm in.
We forever until the day everyone who was alive when that happened dies. You got to remember that for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, gotta move forward.
Yeah.
Stronger than ever, right?
Stop smiling in pictures when you go there. I went to the memorial and took a tour of it.
Correct.
That was the weirdest thing to me. My mom and I last year we took a tour of the center, and they were still under construction, but people were taking photos of each other in front of the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And they were smiling.
Very
and
bizarre.
I noticed that. I was like, that's really weird. Like
very bizarre.
If I was me, I would kind of have a somber look, or just not be in the photos.
Who wants to
like,
take a photo?
You don't have to prove
I know,
that you
it's a
were
little bit
there.
weird.
Like maybe
is
take
that?
a photo of it, but not with
not
it.
in
Right.
You're not like in the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like,
You're not at Disney.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not
right.
a attraction.
Are we getting some action there? Are people yelling at us for doing
No,
anything
no,
bad?
no,
Okay, because I
no.
got worried. I
Oh,
thought
we
you
were taken
about
off the air.
I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, we're off
a while ago.
Oh dear. So, in an effort to move on, I have some news to report to you.
Beautiful.
Okay. So, I don't know if you heard, but Apple is going to announce something tomorrow.
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
No.
there's all these rumors.
Exactly.
There's
I
all
couldn't
this
believe it.
this under the radar speak.
So
What have you heard, Jill?
What I know, really, you who know
We
nothing.
should tap you.
It's amazing since you made me get an iPhone, or you guys,
Yeah.
I should say, collectively.
Sorry
Not
about
you,
that.
Ariel. You weren't
Yeah.
part of that. So this morning, a J.P. Morgan Chase economist, actually the chief economist, who's a great guy, super duper smart. His name is Mike Ferroli.
Okay.
Puts out a research report, and he says, "Don't worry about the Federal Reserve and what they're going to do. Worry about Apple. Not worry, but be happy for Apple because Apple, my friends, is going to save the economy. Why? And how?
Yeah.
Because he says, based on sales of iPhone 4S and how strong they were,
Right.
he's extrapolated those sales figures and said that Apple could actually contribute 1/4 to 0.5% of the nation's GDP. Let me put this in perspective. Okay, so let's just say high end, okay, 0.5%, unlikely. But the U.S. economy is growing by only 1.85%, less than 2%. This guy's saying that Apple could account for almost 1/4 of all of the growth of the United States.
Even when you break it down like that, it's still hard to process.
So just that's like, okay, you know what, like New York. That's
Right.
the contribution. It's craziness.
Yeah.
So I wanted you guys, because I know that, Jeff, you really are. I don't even know if you could say what's the opposite of a fanboy. Like, is it a hater? But
I'm not-
The thing is, Jeff doesn't hate Apple. He hates people that love Apple.
right.
That's
so
different.
you're a fanboy hater.
Yeah.
I don't like posers. Yeah.
Right. So Apple as a company, I'm sort of feeling like, good, let them get us out of this nonsense, really.
Right.
Because we've got big issues ahead of us here in this economy, and if Apple can do it, then take the pressure off Ben Bernanke and the Federal Reserve, for God's sakes.
If Apple is gonna get us back to work,
You like that?
inexplicably,
Yeah.
I'm behind it. I don't hate Apple. And someone emailed me the other day and said, "Oh, I love how much Jeff is an Apple hater." No, I don't label myself as that. I don't like one company sort of like controlling everything. I think that's lame.
Right.
But I'm definitely not a hater.
Do you feel that way about Amazon?
I think when it comes to that, it's more of like the PR machine.
Really?
The way Amazon handles itself.
'Cause I
because
felt
they're
like
they're almost one and the same.
When I was reading about that big deal with the publishing industry and Amazon, I did feel a little bit like, wow, Amazon is controlling a lot of stuff and like what we can and cannot read. And
from a publisher's point of view, they're destroying the industry.
Yeah.
But I mean, but you know what though? I think that's maybe a little misguided because I think people forget how many people a publisher employs just on like proofreading and acquiring material and all that acquisitional stuff. I feel like that goes under the radar. There's a lot more to publishing than there just is printing a book on paper.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
True. But I mean, I don't know. It just looked like they really were like strong arming our parent company, CBS Corporation, which owns Simon & Schuster. Simon & Schuster is one of the 3 companies that actually signed the deal with Amazon and came to a settlement, whereas Apple's fighting it, which is going to be fascinating to see these like 2 companies with huge amounts of money go fighting head to head.
I think there's only a few companies. Apple doesn't need to fear anybody, but I think there's a few companies they need to sort of keep in their rear view, and Amazon's one of them.
Yeah, you got to
sure.
imagine.
I think Amazon overall. I think Apple has a real like stranglehold on content for video and music, but everything else is sort of up for grabs a little bit. I think.
So now as the new iPhone is coming out, do I have to get it or not? Oh, the hesitation.
That's that voice. You do like a.
Yeah.
I mean, look, a lot of people still come to. I don't know why they still come to me for advice for cell phones.
Well, I come to you for advice for everything, but
well, look, you
in
should come to
addition
me
to-
for advice for gaming. You
True.
should for general technological advice. Fine, I'll give you my opinion. I think that if you just want it to work, and I'm sure I'm echoing our buddy Wilson. If you want it to work and you want it to be reliable and you just don't want to have to think and you don't want your own customization and you don't want to be bothered about having more options than you know what to do with.
Right.
Yeah, the iPhone's probably the phone for you.
Right.
You got to wait once a year to buy one of these things.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
And
But why do I need to buy a new one if I like the one I have?
if you have the one you have, stay with the
with
one
it,
you have.
right? There's
I mean,
nothing-
this one's probably
Yeah.
going to work better with the LTE with the high speed.
No, my big
data
thing is
network.
I'll be waiting till that contract expires with AT&T and jumping on over to Verizon, I think. That's what I think I could do.
I think that's a wise choice because I in my opinion, New York City, the data is better on Verizon.
Right?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
Could also consider trading in. I think iPhone will pay you or Apple will pay you $350 for your 4S.
Really?
If you trade it
That
in for a
seems
5.
like
It's not
a lot.
confirmed yet, but yeah, they're saying that they're trying to step it up to companies like Radio Shack and Square Trade that used to buy and recycle your old iPhones, and they would sell them for more. So everyone's kind of making a profit here, but Apple wants to get in on that.
So
you might be able to get away with paying
upgrade?
less than $200 for a new iPhone.
Last week my BlackBerry just completely BlackBerry fail. Stopped receiving and sending.
I think it just killed itself.
Yeah, it totally did. I'm
It
committing
knows its fate.
suicide.
Yeah, it knows
And
it left a note.
so I spoke to one of our crackerjack telecommunications guys, and they're like, "Look, we're going to reset it, but if this does not reset, you're done. No more BlackBerry. We don't support BlackBerry."
Yeah.
So then I had the choice. For that moment, I said, "You know what the choice is? Samsung or an iPhone, the old iPhone."
Yeah.
And I didn't know which one I would pick. I figured Samsung just to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's people are there's I guess it's not like a Beatles Rolling Stones sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just some people. I think the DIY scene maybe embraces Android a little more because you can really customize an Android phone. You can do what you want on it.
Right.
Whereas every iPhone sort of looks the same unless it's jailbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Do you identify with that? What do you think?
For me, I'm definitely a guilty Apple user, and I've allowed myself to get sucked into this ecosystem. I have AirPlay speakers at home. I have, I'm thinking about getting an iPad. I might get the 7-inch, and once you kind of rope yourself into that whole
Yeah,
world,
you're
you
in.
can't get out of it.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like a
sucked
game.
in. You're
It's like
bundled,
blood in, blood out.
baby.
Apple.
Yep.
No, I don't think you're sucked in.
Yeah.
I don't think you're locked in like that. I think if you use Google stuff, Apple plays nice with that. Android obviously plays nice with that.
I have a lot of stuff in iCloud, and that's just not going to work on another network.
I don't use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a MacBook Pro.
Right.
I use a MacBook on the show.
Right.
I have an iPad.
Yeah.
So do not call him a hater.
Yeah, I'm no hater.
All
They have thousands of dollars of my money.
I
They
know.
do.
They're very happy with you. I'm just happy that they can save the economy. You guys, I'm a little bit worried about some things that are coming up. I don't know if you
because I haven't talked to you in a little bit, and whenever time passes and we haven't had our Jill fix, I feel like I don't know what's going on in the world.
Well, the stock market's been making new highs.
Right.
Stock market basically has erased all of the financial crisis losses.
Okay.
And now back to where we were basically the beginning of 2008.
So we're good. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I know, not exactly. But it's been a rough go.
USA.
It's a rough go. 4 years, almost exactly 4 years since the beginning of the financial crisis, right? So here's what's kind of freaking me out a tiny bit. I'm hoping that it won't come to fruition. Have you guys heard about the fiscal cliff?
No.
Oh, am I going to give you something?
Okay, give it to us.
Is this bad news?
Fiscal cliff.
Give me up on the website today. Do you see where it says "as seen on CBS TV"? Is that what's there?
Yeah, I see that. What is the fiscal cliff? Okay.
All right. So here's what happened. So my mother, the great Susan.
Wait, your mother has something to do with the fiscal cliff?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
I was talking about the fiscal cliff, and she says to me, I don't really know what the fiscal cliff is. You should write about that or talk about that on TV. And I said, you know what? You're right. So this came up over the summer, and I've been waiting. I've been compiling all this information and trying to go through it. And so the Congress came back into session yesterday. They had a 5-week break because they worked so hard and get nothing done.
That. Who has 5 weeks of vacation?
I know, but they're supposed to go back to their, to their district and campaign or whatever nonsense. Anyway, so they come back, and so here's what's happening. There is a combination of scary stuff that's occurring in the economy. One is, you remember the Bush tax cuts that occurred twice, 2 different times. Bush administration cut tax rates, cut capital gains rates, cut taxes for everyone. But they did it for only 10 years. They said at the end of this 10 years, everything goes back to the way it was in 2001.
Okay.
So we are coming to the end of those Bush tax cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in addition to that, President Obama enacted these tax cuts just because the economy sucked and they wanted to help people out a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Those are expiring at the end of this year. So those go back into effect, the higher rates, on the first of the year. And then on top of that, remember the whole debt ceiling debacle?
Yeah. That seemed like a really big deal.
That was a big deal. And what they said was, okay, we got to cut the debt. We can't keep carrying this $15 trillion debt. So what they ended up doing was they came up with a deal. They said, we're going to put a super committee together. Democrats, Republicans, they're going to come up with a game plan. It's going to be awesome. But just in case they don't, we're going to put automatic spending cuts in place that start on January 2nd, 2013.
Oh.
Okay, so the spending cuts are half from the military, half from domestic programs.
What's a domestic program?
Like hot lunches at school. Like,
Really?
yeah, like National Weather Service. Like,
no, that sounds important.
I know, and like Medicare.
Who else is going to scare us into thinking every hurricane's going to destroy the planet?
Stop that now. And who doesn't love a good hurricane story anyway? I mean, it's the
right?
best thing for media
Those
ever.
are so sexy.
So these three things, Bush tax cuts, Obama tax cuts, and spending cuts are all coming together. And get this, you guys, this will make you snap up and pay attention. The average household in the United States, if nothing gets done, increase of taxes of $3,700 on average.
What the?
Well, that caught your attention because all these tax rates are going to rise. All these tax breaks that you've been getting are going to go away. Credits are going to go away. And
we'll relapse.
Well, very good point, Jeff.
Yeah.
So the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, says, wait a minute. This thing all happens at once, like all these different events occur in the first of the year. We're going back into a recession.
Yeah, I know it's only September, but I've been looking forward on
yeah,
my calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's only 3.5 months to get there. And the problem is that there's no way Congress is doing bupkis about this in this session, right before the election. So that gives them a really small window, a lame duck session, right after the election, before the end of the year. What are they going to do? Are they going to extend all this stuff? Is it going to be another year? And a lot of people really think that the Democrats' position, which is, screw you guys, we'll have taxes go up for everyone. You're Republicans, we don't care. And the Republicans are like digging in and saying, screw you, like, you don't want your domestic programs to get cut. And that there really could be no deal, which would be horrible for the economy.
Because that expiration will happen.
It will happen no matter what, unless they come to a deal. And you know what? Who among us believes that having Congress...
So that's the fiscal cliff.
That's the fiscal. We jump over the fiscal cliff. And, it's kind of scary to me. I don't know. I sort of feel like I just don't trust lawmakers. And,
Of course not.
The guys who cover the politics beat, they're like, don't worry. They'll come up with something. Because they all are very jaded. They say, come on, politicians, they don't want something really bad happening on their watch.
Yeah, but this would happen after the election.
Right. It has to. So after the election, what could happen is the lame duck sessions, right? So you have the old guys who are still there who have probably lost, right? A bunch of them are out of the, So they could either just be like, let's be really good guys, come to an agreement and put something together. Or they might say, this is too important and we got to push it to the new guys. They're elected. They're going to do it. But we're talking, this is kind of serious. When CBO did the analysis, they said in the first half of the year, they could see the economy shrink, go into a recession by like 2.7%, meaning like contraction, bad news, bad. Yeah. They also said unemployment would go up by a full percentage point. So am I scared you?
Yes.
This is not good.
I don't think it's going to happen.
So what do you think's going to
I think
go
that
down?
Politicians, this was the lesson I learned from the debt ceiling. At first I was like, there's no way they're going to let that happen. Then I got really freaked out. It got closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, these guys are banana heads. They don't know anything. And they're willing to push the country over the edge. This is terrible.
Yeah.
However, then I realized, no, they're really self-serving jerks, and they don't want something really bad happening while they're in office. So they usually do come to some compromise.
When the gun is at their head, they make a decision.
Yeah. You remember that scene in Greece?
I do.
Where they're playing that game of chicken and they're running each other off the road.
Yes,
That's what you would like to think of. So Danny Zuko is either you're a Republican or you're a Democrat.
Oh, my mom's going to love this.
And the other guy, I don't even remember his name, who is a bad guy, who's not part of the...
Oh, right. The slick hair guy.
Yeah, the slick back guy. He's the other side, whoever you don't like, put in his role. And that's what we are looking at. They will drive us over a cliff if necessary. And you know what? This is why everyone should go out and vote. This is why you should go out and vote, because you better make your voice heard, because they're going to make big decisions. It could impact your wallet, could impact your life.
Yeah.
You got to go out and vote.
That's the one thing I'm scared about this election is the drop-off with voter turnout.
know.
That's the one thing that bugs me.
You know what also bugs me, among many things?
I just feel like, I hold that thought, I just feel like a lot of people will be like, it's in the bag.
Yeah, for who?
Well, for
I don't
whoever,
get it.
right? I know.
don't get it. Like it's a dead heat. It's statistical dead heat.
Right. It does seem like it is, and I
hate when people say, "Oh, my vote doesn't count."
Well, certain Certain states, it really doesn't.
I know, but go vote
But go
anyway.
vote.
Come on.
Go vote.
You know what? The people in this world who would die, who are dying to be
Right.
able to vote in an election.
For sure.
Don't take it for granted.
No, absolutely.
All right,
Always should vote.
Okay, so now I have another thing that drives me insane. What drives me insane is people who don't vote their own interests.
What do you mean? Who does that? People who
so
vote
many
outside
people.
of their own interests.
Yeah, for example, there are people who will say, I want there to be a debt reduction plan, right? And you
Okay.
say, okay, well, and they say, and that's why I'm going to vote for Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney. And I said, oh, okay, great. So just give me your situation. Like there are certain people who should vote for them based on their money, okay? And there's a guy on my radio show, and he's giving me this whole rundown of his situation. I said, do you understand you're better off under Obama's plan than under the Ryan Romney plan? And he said, no, I'm not. I said, no, really, you are. Seriously. Like, just look at the numbers. You're going to be better off. And he's like, I just don't believe that. Okay. I mean, like, I don't know what to say to that. But there are so many people
It's
who
scary.
don't vote in their own best interest.
Scary.
It's weird. It's like bizarre to me.
I think it's a psychological phenomenon.
Yeah, I guess.
It's
I don't
gotta
get
be.
it.
It's
I don't
gotta
get
be,
it.
right?
And yeah, well, you know, I don't understand when people. I mean, it's like you might like them for lots of other reasons, right? You know, meaning like you might say, I don't vote my pocketbook. Okay, that's fine. I'm not like a huge pocketbook voter myself. I have other things I care about.
Sure.
But if you're going to talk about the money and the economy, my favorite thing is when people say, like, you know, we got to cut the debt. And I say, okay, what would you cut?
I know.
Silence.
Well,
But I mean, that's what happens. People say, you know what? Like, they don't know what they want to cut everything that doesn't affect their lives.
well, it's understandable that people have a selfish interest when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
it's understandable, but
You got to cut the defense. I think it's crazy how much money we spend on.
Well, you're going to get a big defense cut anyway with this fiscal
Right.
cliff if
That's
nothing
right.
happens.
Fiscal cliff.
You like that?
It's like a nickname
Think
for
about
cliff.
it. Just
Hey,
think
you're-
about it of the guy diving off of the cliff in Mexico.
Yeah.
That was the image I put up on my blog post. They changed it. I
They
thought that was
did?
they changed it. Because you know I'm
Wow.
not serious enough, as you know.
Aw.
There's so many things.
You
that I'm
are
not-
serious.
You think?
Well, you have a very approachable way at expressing your seriousness.
Ooh, I like that.
So, I mean, and that's what it's all about. That's the way we sort of modeled our program.
And
We
I
might
modeled
joke
myself
around.
after you.
Really?
Yeah.
Please don't admit that in public.
not?
No, I'm kidding. We model our show, you know, trying to tell you news with giving a little lighter side of it.
Right. Or, you know, for you guys, at least you're talking about cool stuff. I mean, it's hard to make people psyched about the fiscal cliff.
No, but it's cool. You make it cool.
Oh, man.
I'm serious.
I'll tell you, this is the best thing that's happened to me all day.
Well, good, because you told us you haven't had a great day,
have
so
not.
we are here to reverse that.
I know. But, you know, I am feeling good already. I feel so good I might eat this
No.
lolli-
That'll ruin your day.
Oh,
No. Reverse that
No,
whole
that's
thing.
there for one of our enemies.
Yeah.
Are you going to put someone in this seat and make them,
Yes.
you have
We'll
it
do
planned?
We'll do it one day.
I'll leave it right
It's
here.
just sitting there like an idle time bomb.
Interesting. Have you seen any good movies this entire summer?
Yeah, Batman was
Yeah,
great.
Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, I never saw that. Okay.
What? How do you not see? I'm kidding. But
Well,
you
I
should.
mean, because you know what? Like, I don't know. I always wait till it dies down, whatever. But
That's fine.
you know what I saw? I saw that Jack Black movie called Bernie, which was awesome.
Bernie.
Bernie. Oh my God, this is crazy. This movie, this is so not Jack Black, but he was amazing in it. He was so great. It is based on a true story. He plays this guy Bernie, who's an undertaker in Texas. Okay, he's like sort of this very well-intentioned guy who's an undertaker. He goes into this small town and he befriends the old rich lady who's played by Shirley MacLaine.
Okay.
Okay. It's based on, he ends up killing her.
It's based on fact.
Fact.
Okay, that's
and
fun.
I heard an interview with Jack Black where he goes and meets the guy who's the real life murderer.
Wow.
And he said it was so intense. He's like, but bad enough you're playing somebody who's alive, you know.
So it's
Then you go to a
funny-
maximum security prison.
What's funny that's called Bernie
Wait,
because
is it a comedy?
It's like a dark comedy. It looks like.
It's like a dark comedy, and what's wild is they go and they create like a mockumentary almost, and they really did go and interview all the people in the town, and of course the people loved Bernie, and they were kind of like, this is how they sort of made sense of it. They're like, yeah, you know, he was such a great guy, he's so caring, he's so great, and she really was such a bitch.
Wow.
I mean, it was wild.
So
the characters are amazing in it.
And he's trying to make it that she's still alive.
Well, for a while, he carries that off.
And it's so funny that it's called Bernie because I just think of like keeping a dead guy alive.
That's
Weekend at
right,
Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. I'm telling you, this movie is worth seeing. It's so under the
Richard
radar.
Linklater.
Yeah, and it
Bro,
definitely
slacker.
was. It was definitely went under the radar. I thought he was awesome.
I'll check it out.
And not only that, it's a movie, like, for me, it was great because I could take my mother-in-law to this movie, and
Right.
she's, like, fine with it. There's nothing embarrassing that
I'm gonna. I can't. This totally
This is really-
snuck under the radar.
See? All right,
Okay.
I gotta bring you a little bit of something.
All right, I'm
that.
impressed. I'm marking it down. I hope
All
it's
right.
on Netflix instant streaming.
Oh, I wonder what that's like.
We got to convince Jill to get Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I just Jill, come on. You
Okay.
know, you can
know.
afford it, right?
Oh, well, it's not about the affording it.
So
it's
then, what
just,
the hell's the problem?
I feel like there's so much for me to watch. I mean,
Well,
between the
so-
DVR,
Right.
like what I'm DVRing in the city and out east, it's like I can't keep up. Like I'm coming into the fall schedule now.
So
Things
you're-
could get rocky for me.
So you're anxious about having too much to watch.
Correct.
That's a
That's a
fair
valid complaint.
You know,
That's
I
fair.
got Boardwalk Empire starting up.
Yeah.
I got
Ooh.
Dexter starting up. I
Yeah.
got things
Tonight,
happening.
Sons of Anarchy.
I'm not doing it.
starting
You know
up.
what? I'm going to put it on the DVR though.
All right.
You know, you ever if you DVR in HD, it takes up more memory. Did you know
Yes.
that? Right?
Yes.
I didn't know this, so I'm such an idiot. So,
not an idiot
I was an
thing.
idiot, so I learned that. I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Where did all my memory go?
Half
I,
my DVR's
I know
gone.
exactly. So anyway, I have a lot to record.
Do you know why?
I imagine that it just requires more memory.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
That's all.
But are there any other shows besides Son of Anarchy that we got to watch?
Well, we got like we said, we got the Boardwalk. I watched the 15-minute season 2 recap.
That is so good.
Man,
that
when you-
the end of that
Was that show
season-
not an MRFer or what?
Woo! All my favorite characters died. That was the only
Yeah.
problem. Can't wait to see where they
It's
take
really
it.
good.
That's
It's
a good
really
one, and
good.
the sets are awesome, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I think I had a high school friend who's an extra. I think in one of these upcoming episodes.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
cool.
is. But I don't know where they're going to take it. I'm intrigued. I think I got my
Yeah.
last season of Dexter coming up.
All right,
Very
So you
excited about that.
you have good taste in television.
Not always, because I will admit to you that I'm also a girl, and I watch I record The Good Wife, which puts me right up there with my mother. Oh, The Good Wife! I love that. Why did they put that on with the
You're
football?
the first person I've met who watches. The
Yeah,
Good
I
Wife.
know, because I am that queer, basically. And I use that in the 70s sense, not in
Yeah,
any other
yeah,
sense. And I don't even know if I can admit this to you, because you will not respect me. You know, sometimes you're really tired and you just need something really dumb. Do you know that
Ugh.
you don't
Wait, give us like
genre? You want
yeah,
genre?
get a little.
think of nighttime
cryptic.
soap opera-ish.
What the hell is she talking about?
I do not watch any of the reality stuff. Only
Okay.
not just because I don't think those characters are all that interesting. I see them all day long.
What channel is it on?
It's a broadcast network. It's not cable.
And it's late.
It's not late.
It's not us. Is it us?
It's you ready?
Yeah.
It's Grey's Anatomy, which is
Oh.
so bad.
That
it is so
is
bad.
bad.
Now, here is how I explain it. If you were the kind of person who liked a soap opera, which, by the way, I liked soap operas when they used to be on, it is. I describe it as it's not a drama. It is a soap opera with a better soundtrack. That's all it is,
Yeah.
and not even that good.
Grey's Anatomy. There's just there's like a cheese level there.
There is a high cheese level.
That
I
is
admit
just
it. I admit it.
unavoidable.
Yeah.
The
I admit it.
stench is overwhelming.
Tell me, what is your guilty pleasure then?
I don't really have one.
baloney.
I don't.
Come on,
I,
you
there's
watch
nothing
something?
there's nothing I watch that I'm ashamed to admit.
Really?
I mean,
I'm a little
I'm sure
ashamed
my
of that.
wife has demons
Don't
in
out
her,
her.
and
That's
skeletons
not
in
her.
her closet.
That's hers to
well,
tell.
she watches all the Bravo trash.
What's that? All the
all
top
the
shelf?
the Real
Housewives. I
Housewives
don't do that.
of your uncle and whatever
Yeah.
it is. I don't know.
Yeah, she
That's
could just
terrible.
go outside on the subway and see them.
just live your life, and
Yeah.
that's the show.
Yeah, they're
What,
pathetic.
you have guilt. Justin.
Oh, I have
Justin's
plenty
got
of
it.
guilty pleasures.
What's one of them?
God.
Yeah.
What am I doing
that
right
you
now?
could talk about?
Yeah, Gallery Girls. Do you guys
What's
watch
that?
this?
Bravo too.
Yeah, it's on
What is
Bravo.
I can't believe
It's
you
even-
just
it's
admitted
even- I
that.
think it's even-
Time out.
I think it's even worse for me because
That's
I
bad.
don't watch it on TV, so it's not like I'm just flipping through channels, lounging
Oh,
on the
yeah.
couch. Actually, I have to go and exert effort to download these shows.
Ariel and Jill, do you know what the hell he just said?
I don't know what it is.
I don't either.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I only know about this because when
Yeah.
I'm sitting there on my computer and Stacey's watching The Real Housewives of Jersey or whatever,
Oh, it gets a promo.
it gets a promo.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure
Right.
it's about like struggling artists.
Yep. Nah. Okay.
designers or something like that, and they're all just like catty. And
Yeah, it's about the drama that happens in galleries, and there's two different factions. There's like the group of girls that come from uptown, old money, right? And they come in.
I love them.
And they've been working these galleries for years,
paid their
for decades.
dues, yeah.
They've paid their dues.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then there's all these young girls coming in, like 19, 20-year-olds coming in from Brooklyn, from like Bushwick and the
Hipsters.
Williamsburg parts, right? So-called hipsters.
so-called hipsters.
And they
These
come in and they're
Justin's
doing
neighbors.
really, really well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know a million girls just like that, so
Yeah.
that's why it's
they're
fun to
a dime
watch.
a dozen.
Yeah,
they're a
and they're
dime a
hot
freaking
too.
dozen.
They
Are
are.
they?
There's something to be said about that. Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
attractive people on television.
Dude, chat room freaking out right now.
Really?
Oh, shut up, chat room.
Oh, come on.
Freaking out.
Oh, cram it up your
They're
own
like,
chat
okay,
room.
Jill's like
They're
old.
like, you know what they're all saying? Really? They're all going, really?
Well,
What
why
should I
don't
be
they talk
watching?
about someone? Why don't they be
Yeah.
bold enough to say what are some of the things that are guilty about them? You know, like
I'd love to hear it.
You know,
yes.
like it's just like it's okay as guilt. Like there's times where I can literally go onto like one of those old channels and reruns, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm watching 3 Odd Couples back to back
That's
to back,
fun.
which
That was
I love that.
classic
Right,
sitcom
that was
television.
great. I love
Odd
that.
Couple's amazing.
Yeah.
Ariel, what about you?
what's
What
your guilty-
skeletons are in your
I
closet?
don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV in general.
Oh gosh,
so
here's the
it's-
end of the industry right over here. This is bad for us. $4 billion of our earnings on TV, and this is what we.
I mean,
What about Law and Order SVU?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
definitely a guilty pleasure of mine.
I
I'll
could-
watch like 8 episodes
You know
a
what
day.
is weird? Whenever I am sick, and that hasn't been that often, but if I am homesick in bed, I
watch
am like
trash.
on that couch watching Law and Order for
Horrified.
14 hours.
Yeah.
but that's
Oh.
okay because you're under the weather and your
Yeah.
body is just expecting that. I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
But Ariel does nothing? I can't believe that.
No, yeah, it's weird. I haven't had. I didn't have cable for years, and then I just recently got cable.
Because you're in the industry and you can write it off, so that's good.
Yeah.
What about
remember
Honey
that.
Boo Boo?
What is
Oh
that?
my God! If anybody watches that,
Is that
What
the
is
name
it?
of the actual show? Honey Boo Boo is the name of this young Southern pageant queen.
What?
yeah,
She's
it's-
like
it's
5
this
years
white
old. a
trash
toddler.
family that has a reality
Ooh,
show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. I don't
And
like
they're
that.
just all they do is
It's on
like eat
TLC.
disgusting food and like ride cows
wow.
and stuff.
Yeah.
My father told me that Pawn Shop, he likes that.
Oh, yeah.
He says
Yeah, I
that
like
he
that.
thinks that's a funny
You know what the
show.
problem with those shows are?
What's that?
They're all fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all fake.
Right?
Everyone knows
No, yeah.
Pe-
that's-
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, or I liked Duck Dynasty. We've talked about that before.
Oh, that's Animal Planet with the
Yeah,
ducks?
it's about like a hick family that has somehow
Oh,
made
no-
millions of dollars making duck calls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when you say a hick family, you're alienating a certain portion of our audience that you're just assuming wouldn't watch this
Right.
anyway or
I-
download it.
I Lover claims that in the channel that his or her guilty pleasure is Here Comes Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, here
Honey
comes
Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is on TLC. This is on the Learning Channel.
I know. Well, they already jumped the shark a long time ago. They had
It
to make
can't-
money.
I want to do like a Kickstarter
Mm-hmm.
that forces every network to rename themselves.
Yeah,
They
what
can
they
use
are.
the same abbreviations, but
Like the
Learning
lame channel.
Yeah, or it has to be like, something really, really
Well, CBS,
accurate.
we don't want to.
MTV needs to change their freaking name too, because when was the last time they put on music?
What happened with that? We don't care anymore. I was just talking about how I loved Behind the Music because the
That was
coolest
VH1. That was
Let me
VH1.
just say this: the coolest thing happened to me. We turned on the radio in the car. All of a sudden, I got satellite radio for free.
Really?
Woo! They were
That's
doing
cool.
a promotion, right?
That's cool.
So I'm flipping around. By the way, satellite radio blows.
Why do you think it blows?
sucks? It is so bad. It is
Yeah?
so bad because it's. You know what it is? It's like it has none of the the really good parts of commercial radio, which are you used to have a DJ who would curate and talk to you about it, interactivity, but it has all the worst parts, which is they play the same crap over and over and over again. It's unbelievable. It's like you have an
I really
unlimited
like
library.
the 80s channel.
Love
though.
the 80s on 8, love the 70s on 7. But where was I flying to all the time? The Grateful Dead channel.
That's fine.
Oh my God! You know
just-
they have like these crazy concerts that are going on for 5 hours at a time.
That's cool.
I had a car full of people. They're like, take the Grateful Dead off.
The Bruce Springsteen channel is awesome. The E Street
Yeah,
channel.
that's pretty good. But same thing. Like, who needs a whole channel
No, you're
for
right.
one person?
I got you.
All right. Anyway, I will now tell you that I feel that broadcast radio is actually safe for a few years after having 2 weeks of free satellite.
We are always blown away when we get reports about how many people hear our CBS radio promo.
Thank you. Did I tell you?
It's in the
Thank
millions.
you.
It's literally in the millions.
Dude, I am not kidding you when I say that this is besides being on the 404.
Yeah.
I love doing work for CBS Radio because it's the most interesting. You reach so many people. It's completely on the fly. You've done two-way interviews, and it's just somebody asking you a question. And you know what? Shh, don't tell anybody. Ariel, keep this. Maybe turn the
keep it
sound
quiet.
down right now. radio producers and radio anchors are smarter than TV producers and TV anchors.
Yeah.
Almost to a person.
Because they're uglier. No, I'm
Oh! No, it's a different.
I'm sorry, because
skill set.
we're uglier.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me
Thanks,
fix that.
man. You know.
No, I meant like
but,
Justin and
but
myself.
I mean, I love the radio, and you know, like I do some satellite hits for a couple of different programs, but I just think the radio is the best thing. It's so great.
I really do like it too, and I have become an NPR junkie for sure. I don't listen to NPR on the radio; I listen online.
Yeah.
But
what do you download?
I just go to like the news section and just select like
All right, now just to be like, just to show you that
stories.
Besides Grey's Anatomy, I will say that I love This American Life.
Yeah, for
Great
sure.
show. And the other thing that I love, I like Terry Gross' Fresh Air.
Yeah.
Even though she has that fresh air voice.
Well, did you hear Ira Glass is doing a movie?
It's out already.
Did a movie with the Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah.
Which did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Did you hear the original episode on the Moth that he did?
No.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
good.
So the Moth is like spoken word stuff. It's fantastic. And Mike Birbiglia actually told that story
Okay.
on the Moth in front of a live audience.
Right,
and there's a
right.
recording of it.
That's awesome.
It's really great. He's a funny guy.
He's a really funny dude. He's another dude who's just starting to blow up. He's been a famous comedian for a couple years now. But that book he wrote, this Come Sleepwalk with Me, is awesome.
Did you ever hear of a guy? He's a comedian. He's like a storyteller comedian. His name is David Rakoff. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yes, and he died.
Yeah, he just died. He's 47 years old. You should download the interview, the last episode that he did on the This American Life. They did a whole episode devoted to him. And Terry Gross played her last interview with him. He is a funny guy, and he is also like a very poignant guy.
Sure.
So that's me. I'm giving you the plug for
No,
NPR.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I dig it.
Yeah.
I was on there once.
You were?
Yeah, I was on with the big guy. All Things Considered. I was on.
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I love that.
Dude, it was awesome. What's his name again? I forget. Oh, I'm so bad.
There's different guys.
The guy,
So,
the old dude, the older gentleman with the fantastic voice. Oh,
Carl Castle?
No.
He does the news.
He
used to.
This was like commentary. It was about violent video games and.
Oh.
It was about violent video games and.
Oh, polar bear guy.
Yeah, the polar bear
What was
guy.
his name?
Oh God, I'm such a dick right now. What is
You can
his
say
name?
that on the air?
I just did.
Oh,
What is it? And he's such a well-respected radio journalist.
Robert.
Yeah.
Robert Siegel.
Yes.
Robert Siegel.
That's who it was.
Had a little
I'm sorry, Mr.
Alzheimer's
Siegel.
there.
No disrespect.
That is so cool that you were on.
And he was talking to me we talked for like 45 minutes.
Isn't that great? And so he chopped you up and put you in the piece?
Yeah. You can go back and
Fantastic.
listen to it. It's basically about the sort of like homophobic, misogynistic crap that happens online when you play online.
Yeah.
And I had wrote a story that really, really blew up, and I was sort of like, oh God, am I going to be like the anti-online video game guy now?
Because you know what? You are such a good boy. That's the thing that's amazing. He really is. He's a
Tell
you're a
my
good
family
man.
that.
You're a good guy. You
I
are.
appreciate that.
So that is very impressive. I do some stuff with Marketplace, which is on public broadcasting. And so what happens to me is when I'm on CBS Radio, I have tons and tons and tons of people who say, I heard you on the radio. And then when I'm on NPR, I have all of my college friends say, oh, I heard you on the radio. Because they wouldn't deign to actually pretend to listen to CBS.
Right.
Oh, I don't need the traffic.
Nice.
So anyway, so that's it. You got to worry about Apple, the fiscal cliff, your kids playing videos online, and now go watch Bernie, the movie. Have I summed this up?
You have. All
It's
right.
pretty good, right?
We're not done grilling you, though.
All right.
We
We don't have to take a break. We never took a break.
No,
did we?
we're not going to do it today.
I love that.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna
I'm going to eat
pull
my
right
arm
through it.
off. This is fantastic. I'm starving.
Do you want a break?
No, I have to go eat lunch eventually.
All right, we're gonna keep going.
No,
Do you
not because I've only been up since 4:30.
I
Remember?
don't know how you do that. That was so long ago. That was
You know what's
like
funny?
9 hours ago.
And I waited to send you guys emails. I'm like, they'll never get this. It might get buried in their email inbox. And I think I sent it to you like 7:30. I'm like, midday.
Yeah, you didn't have your lunch then? What the hell?
No, I brought my little tube of hard-boiled eggs to work.
A tube of hard
No,
boiled eggs.
two. As in the number
I thought you
two.
meant like a Pillsbury dough thing. I'm like, that's disgusting. All right, let's get into some of our email questions for Jill. Let's see what we got here. First one is from Jim. This week, I can sign up for employee stock purchase plans. Is this a good idea, and how much do I contribute? I can put up to 15% and universal. Oh, I guess this person works for Comcast.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing: when you are offered the ability to buy stock, you're usually offered to be able to buy it at a discount,
right?
So it's usually a 10 or 15% discount. So it used to be way back when everyone would be like, "Oh my God, I have to do it." Except they then realized that like you could do it for Facebook and be buying it at 38 minus 15%, 37, 36,
which is still not
20,
a deal.
right? So what I would say is this: I don't love buying employee stock. I would say if you're maxed out in your retirement plan, if you've got all your other bases covered, you've got your emergency reserve fund, your debt is paid down, you're maxing out your retirement plan, and you want to take a little bit of flyer on your company stock, sure. Only 5% of your total invested assets should be in your company stock. That's it. No more than that.
Okay, good to know.
But I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting CBS stuff and not
You
even
are.
asking for it.
Well, you know what? You get two things at CBS, just to clarify, not that anyone else cares.
Little transparency.
Exactly.
There's a lot of employees. In the company.
Oh, yeah, of course, the entire interactive staff watching,
Sure.
and maybe some of the CBS News staff.
Obviously.
Yes.
I mean, Les Moonves has his on speed dial.
Leslie, he doesn't like Les.
He doesn't like Les?
Evidently not.
Less is more.
I guess. So, by the way, did you hear?
Justin
Hold on a
can't
second.
deal with that.
Justin,
can't deal
do
with
me a
that.
favor. Just show me. There's an image of the talk hosts.
Okay.
Those girls. One of them is Leslie Moonves' wife.
Right.
They all went without makeup yesterday on the show. You got to
On
see this.
purpose?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like sort of a thing.
What do you mean it's a thing?
And they wanted to show that, like,
Yeah,
the-
women have been doing this lately in the media.
Right,
Like Lady
they wanted
Gaga
to, like,
posts photos of
show
herself.
that,
But
like-
Lady Gaga can do that.
Right. So anyway, wait till you see this.
I
But
gotta
you'll
see this.
This is
Pull
going to be
this up.
interesting.
Pull this
you
up.
see them? Oh yeah, there they are. Look at Julie Chen. I'm sure that Les Moonves is like, I don't need the world seeing that.
Oh, was that Aisha Tyler?
I have no idea what you're talking
Justin, is that who that is?
I don't know. I've never
about.
seen
The second
talk.
one is
I
Sarah
know
Gilbert.
Sharon Osbourne's in the middle.
Sharon Osbourne's in the middle. To the left is Sarah Gilbert, who looks exactly like she looks with makeup, which is awesome.
Right, from Roseanne.
Yes,
Who's
exactly.
on the far left here?
I don't know who that woman.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my
But Julie Chen, guys.
I'm sorry, that's
I have been on the set with Julie Chen when she used to be on the early
She's
show.
pretty.
She's gorgeous, but it's weird to see her without makeup. I've never seen her without makeup, but
This
she's
is-
beautiful.
this is our
Sharon Osbourne looks amazing.
Well, she's had
I
a lot
think-
of plastic surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think Sharon Osbourne is a beautiful lady.
You do?
I do. I think
She's attractive, I guess.
I think she's just like a naturally attractive woman.
Okay, I don't want to go too far with this. Anyway, CBS matches. Oh my God!
I'm sorry. Who is this person?
Who is that? That's a bad shot.
That
too.
is a bad shot, but Stanley from The Office is just
Look at Jill
looking really,
Schlesinger just
really
dying.
strange right here. I don't understand. Why was he on that show right now?
That's a she.
Oh, that's I'm sorry.
That is so mean.
Is it? But I'm sorry. That's
You know what? I don't look great without makeup either. For God's sakes, you got to go and find out. Stop it.
It's very
I
dramatic.
just don't understand
Meanwhile,
why.
she's on a nationally syndicated radio television
Sure,
show.
she's doing a lot
which is
better than
never
we are.
Exactly. Look
Yeah.
at us pikers.
But,
CBS
we're a
gives
bunch
you
of gypsies in here.
exactly. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful egg carton
Yeah,
crap on
it's
the wall.
awesome.
So CBS matches a portion of the 401k. Your match is
Yeah.
matched in CBS stock,
Right.
and you get a rewards program. Okay, I'm done.
I looked
Next
at my
question.
balance. I was shocked. It was like, oh my god, that looks
Yeah,
like
you
it's
get a
lot of
separate
money.
reward outside, just based on however they give you a little piece of the action.
Yeah. All
Little
right.
kiss. All right, what's next?
Okay.
Phew,
Next
I had to
up.
take a moment there.
I love watching you crack up like that. I could do that all day. Angel from San Juan, Puerto Rico, wants to know this. My boss informed me that I am getting a promotion and a nice bump in pay.
Nice.
I'm planning on using this raise to pay off old credit card debt, about 10 grand. Damn. It should take about 1 year in total without negatively affecting my current cash flow.
Good.
I was looking into my 401k plan, and I can take out a loan against my current balance to pay off my credit cards in full and pay it back in 1 year, which they'll do through a deduction of his paycheck.
Yep.
The advantage of this is that the loan interest rate is about a quarter of the one on his credit cards.
Right.
So I'll be saving about $250 in payments per month compared to paying the credit cards directly. I was planning on using the savings to beef up Angel's emergency fund.
Okay.
I'll still be contributing to the 401k as I normally do, which
Yeah.
is 10% a year, into an S&P 500 index fund.
Yes.
Wondering, is this a good idea or not? Super specific.
Okay, I like this. But if anybody is out there and carrying credit card debt, they usually will say, well, I've got a balance in my 401k. So the first question is, What are you laughing at? What's
He's
he
still
doing?
putting up the photo?
No, I don't have anything on my screen.
What's he doing?
Ariel's dying.
That was,
Ariel,
that's
is that
funny,
like a-
man.
I'm sorry.
You had like a little delayed reaction. Are you looking at something on your
It's
own
something
screen?
he's doing.
Yeah, look,
It's
look at
something-
my screen. The
No,
fiscal cliff right
Jill,
now.
you want to know what's going on?
What's happening?
I can't say either. I'm in the same ballpark as you. He put something on his computer, and then Ariel can see it without us
I
seeing
just
it.
start cracking
No,
up.
I had the fiscal cliff article on here.
I don't believe him. I don't believe. But you know what?
That's real radio professional.
I didn't do anything. I didn't even touch the computer.
so
I
full of
don't.
crap.
I
He's
know.
thinking
I'm
of a
sorry,
joke he
Jill.
heard. earlier. I
Listen, poor
apologize for
Angel
that.
wants to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Angel's
let
not
Angel
Angel's
get
not
on
safe.
that.
He's carrying
Sorry,
the credit
Angel.
card debt, but then you'll show us after, right?
Yeah, show us after.
Okay, so if you got outstanding credit card debt, it's tempting to go take a loan. Don't take a distribution ever from your retirement plan because you pay tax on it
Yeah,
and you
you're
have to
not
pay an
never
early
supposed to
penalty.
touch that.
Bad news. Now so it is true you'll pay a lower interest rate. You know the one downside is if you lose your job. Now I have heard in corporate America people get promotions and then get hacked and lose their jobs. So
Ugh.
if you lose your job and you've got a 401k loan, you got to repay it. And if you don't repay it, it's a distribution. It counts as a distribution. So that's your downside.
And then you pay a penalty.
Yeah. So that is the one thing that I would say, Angel. So let me just say this. You don't need to put 10% into your 401k if you've got 10 grand of debt to pay down. So maybe what you do is you back off. You say, I'm going to put 6% in whatever you get the match point, 5%, 6%, and use that extra money to pay down the credit card debt or maybe pay off, maybe borrow some of the money, not all of it. But it is a dangerous proposition. If you feel 100% secure in your job, yes, a loan is better than paying that higher interest rate, but
Still
you got to
a
risk.
little bit of a gamble there.
But you got to gamble, exactly.
We got a tweet. What if I have $5,000 to invest?
Yeah.
What should I do with it?
God, I hate that question.
Well, because I feel like I can relate to that as well.
You got $5,000 also? Well, you got to buy a dog.
That's true.
So forget about
Whatever, but let's say,
Okay,
for argument's sake,
so
you had a
let's-
certain amount of money.
Let's say
Yeah.
that you have paid off all of your debt, your consumer debt, credit card, auto loans, student debt. That's done. Let's say that you've got your emergency reserve fund, which is 6 to 12 months of your living expenses. Let's say that you max out your retirement plan, which I guarantee that dude is not doing.
Yeah.
Okay? But assuming that
So
he
you're
is,
saying that is the priority.
that is your priority. So if you've got an extra $5,000 after all of that, you can you've got to figure out what you're investing for. Am I investing for a home down payment? I'm going to need the money in 2 years. Am I investing for my kids' college education? Then I'll use a 529 plan. If I'm just investing for what I would call almost like a supplemental retirement plan, just a little extra money on the side, you can open an account at any no-load mutual fund house, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. You can put money in there in, a little bit in a stock index fund, a little bit in a bond index fund. That's it.
All right.
Done.
A little conservative.
Well,
Right.
Here's my deal. I have been accused of being conservative, but in the world of investing, the deal is not to make as much as you can when the market is rising. The
Right.
deal is you lose less when it goes down, and you will make out better. It's statistically
Interesting.
true.
It's like a reversal.
Yeah.
sort of
So
thing.
you really think about this. How do I not take it on the chin when the market's going to crap out? The market will crap out, and then you go from there.
Schneids wants to know
Schneid's.
credit card 0% APR for 12-month promotions.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good idea to transfer balances every year to take advantage of 0%?
I mean, it
By
can
basically
be.
opening a new one and closing the old one.
The problem is it really screws up your credit
It
score.
does.
Okay, so that's one thing. But assuming you don't even care about that, there is usually a fee to move over. So you got to make sure there's no fee to move
Right.
over. And you really have to read the fine print. I mean, sometimes you just might as well say, like, what's the game plan for me to pay this sucker off?
Yeah. I was very tempted recently to open up an Amazon credit card because I shop at Amazon all the
A
time.
lot of people tell me that is one of the few credit cards that might be worthwhile because you get some
you get
discount,
point,
right?
I mean, like I shop
What's
at
the
Amazon.
Amazon preferred customer
Prime.
thing? Yeah, so
That's $80 a year, and that gives you free shipping and access to their video streaming service.
is that
that's-
worth it?
I think if you shop at Amazon, it's tough because as long as you spend $25 at Amazon, you usually can get free
That's what I
shipping.
figured.
So it's whether or not you want that stuff right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth it for people that buy their groceries on Amazon. I know a
can
lot of
buy
people
your
that do that.
groceries?
Yeah,
Really?
people buy groceries on Amazon because
Do you
they
think
can
that
get
people
in
in
bulk.
New York are very I can't even get myself together even use Fresh Direct. I can't.
I use Fresh Direct every week.
I can't deal
I
with
can't
it.
plan that far
I
in
can't
advance.
either.
It's good.
My
No,
I don't know
it's
what I
that
want
plan.
today.
No, here's why it's good.
Okay.
Because we're urban. It's urban living good.
Yeah.
Because you, excuse me, you don't have the whole process of food shopping, going to the store and spending $250, $300 on food. It's the time factor.
Yeah.
The amount of time it takes to go food shopping is not worth it to me.
Is Fresh Direct cheaper than say Trader
I find
Joe's?
it is. I find it is. I find it is. It's cheaper than the two supermarkets they got in Hoboken, and then there's like those high end. There's those high end ones. You know,
I don't
like
go to the high end.
Kings and the Garden of Edens
Right.
and those places. Definitely cheaper than that. No doubt about it.
Never eat an apple in the Garden of Eden. Okay, but I'm bummed. Any more questions for
Yeah.
Aunt
Well,
Jill?
so but back to the Amazon thing. Is it like if you keep opening up
It's
credit
not good.
card,
But you don't
what,
need
but
credit.
not closing them?
No,
You're just-
you cannot close them.
But opening them is still bad.
It's still bad because there's a credit inquiry made on your behalf.
That sucks, man.
It does. Well, look, Jeff, you're not opening 5,000 credit cards. If
No.
you're opening this one, then fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
I
it.
think I'm gonna
Wait a
do
minute.
it.
Why didn't you send me your stuff for your refi?
Oh, because
God's
you're right. I
sakes.
forgot again. I'm such a piece of garbage.
Jeez.
what?
I think it's too late now. Anyway, I think
No,
they went
it's
back up.
not.
I think they went back up.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
what's your rate again?
4125.
Refry?
Refried beans.
Refried. I don't know why. Just can you
Refinancing
send me
mortgage.
this stuff?
I'm sorry. You're right. I've been
All I
busy.
want to do is save you money,
I know.
That's
I'm
all I
write
wanna
myself
do.
a little note right now. It's going to go in the old
Right.
pocket.
and it'll
refi.
never go anywhere after that.
It will.
You know what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go shopping.
Yeah. Where are you
I'm
going?
going to Trader Joe's and Fairway.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like that place. It's overpriced, but I like it.
What do you mean?
Trader Joe's?
Yeah. I feel
no
like
way.
it's, no.
You're thinking of
Nah.
Whole Foods.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking of
Whole Foods is
Whole
definitely
paycheck.
overpriced.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't go there.
like
But I can't think about planning in advance, but maybe I should.
Yeah.
See?
Never going to happen.
Giving this little note.
Refinance info to Jill.
Going in the pocket.
Very good.
I check my pockets all the time.
All right.
right.
Any more questions for Aunt Jill?
Yes.
Your
Last-
eyes are making a funny face.
No, I'm
You're like,
sorry. Last one. My eyes are making a funny face. Beatmaster says, "How does Jill see online stores killing brick and mortar stores?"
Oh, it's depressing. I mean, I guess we have a million different examples of this, right?
Yeah.
We have bookstores, which we know that Borders went out, and
Right.
Barnes and Noble closed a ton of stores.
Yeah.
And I think if not for the Nook, the Barnes and Noble franchise would really be hurting a
well,
lot,
and
right?
I also think their New York City stores do well.
Yeah, but even Barnes and Noble closed that huge store on 68th Street, right?
Right. No,
you know,
they
it's
did.
like
You're right.
amazing
Yeah.
to me. And we know that Best Buy's under huge pressure.
They're in trouble, for sure.
They're in trouble, and it's unfortunate because you feel like these big, huge stores had every advantage in the world. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like, we have the Woolworth building here. It's a gorgeous building, one of my favorite buildings in New York. Woolworth's is dead. It's defunct. It's a bankrupt company. Woolworth's was the first department store ever. So ostensibly, it should have been the first Walmart ever, right? It should have been the first one to go to that next step. So it's like incomprehensible to me that there are these stores that had had everything available to them, but couldn't actually make the leap to move their business online because they said, we don't want to destroy. They basically would say, we don't want to cannibalize our core business. And so then the business gets destroyed anyway. So I think it's going to keep happening. And I think that the companies are really trying to figure out, especially retailers are really trying to figure out how to make the leap. Because you know what? A lot of people say, I don't really care about walking into Bloomingdale's anymore.
Well, they can't compete.
They
There's
can't.
too much overhead.
And you can't.
And when you have if you're an online outfit, you only have a freaking warehouse.
Yep.
That is pretty low on maintenance probably, and then you employ the people who work there, and then that's it.
Right. And so, it's hard to see how goods and service how goods are sold any other way. I mean, except for in a big city, right?
Yeah.
But even that, you know what? There are times when I walk into the store where I get my little power bars or whatever in the city, and I'm like, forget it. I'll just go online and get it.
Yeah.
You get,
You know?
get them in bulk, and you save
Yep.
a buttload of money. And
But then
that's it.
they draw me in. They have sales that are
All
better,
right.
right?
Is there anything that any products that you refuse to buy online that you have to, like for
a good
instance,
question.
shoes or jeans? For me, I refuse to buy them online because I have to try it on.
Well, I don't buy clothes online at all. I don't buy shoes, clothes. I know girls who buy bathing suits online. I'm like, what? How's that possible? Because I find it very bothersome to have to send it back. So I don't do that. I mean, I'll buy like, the thing I know, like, oh, it's my size in a shirt or like a workout shirt. But that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm a terrible shopper. I have no patience.
I
Zero.
understand.
Zero, my hero.
I'll buy some clothes on like the Rue La La stuff like that when they have those sales.
Yeah.
You
What
know
about
what?
hockey gear? Do you buy hockey gear online?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. That's a good. Well,
You don't
thank
support your
Well,
local models?
Dude, there are no more mom and pop.
Well, you know what's funny?
stores.
It's funny you
There's
should
one
say
more
that.
in my hometown, but
Yeah.
I'm never there.
You know what's funny? I do sometimes go into local bookstores because I
Right.
feel like, oh my God, I would love to
Yeah.
support this poor dying industry.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
sure.
so. But you know what? It's sort of cool that I feel like some
They're
of those
charming.
they're charming and they give you something different. It is not like a soothing, wonderful experience to walk into a big box store and be like, I can go to Best Buy and buy a phone, or I can go to Amazon and buy the exact same
Right.
phone.
right,
Right?
for $10 cheaper.
It's just there's no reason to do that.
No, for sure. And we were talking about Best Buy yesterday. There's no sense of, and I know it's easy to say this and cast them out. That they're just like a corporation, a cold-hearted corporation. But there's no sense of like, caring there. There's no real sense of relation. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well,
Like people can't I can't identify with somebody who's like, oh, no one's. I feel like a mom and pop store is going to give you that sort of intimate experience.
Not to go back to our earlier can Apple save the economy, but I do think what they have done incredibly well is created these sticks and brick stores, right? That where people walk in and they feel like, wow, like I get service, I get people who talk to me, who explain things, who are enthusiastic. Half the time you go into some of these stores and you're like, oh, don't do me any favors, don't help me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't stand
It's
that.
like back off.
Right.
This is my personal space.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
definitely kind of flagrant with that, using the term genius. Right? Like, I don't know. They shouldn't be calling a lot
No.
of those
Yeah,
employees
genius.
geniuses.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
I think that's a little.
But I do have this one woman
Right,
at
Molly.
the Lincoln Center store who told me kind of her life story at one point, which was wild. She just started chatting with me, and I said, "How do you like working here?" Because I can't stop being nosy and ask people questions. And she goes, you know what? This is the best job. She goes, I used to have a corporate job. I lost my job in the recession. The best thing that ever happened to me was losing that job. She goes, look, I don't make as much money, but this company treats me so well, and I am so happy in this place. And I was like, God, that's a great story. Of course, people want to work at a place where that makes them feel happy, right? It's not that hard to replicate either.
No, for sure.
Then she winked at the camera in the corner.
Hey there.
Got it, boss.
All right, guys, we got to head out of here. Thank you so much for being here.
It is a delight, as
Always
always.
love-
You've made my day.
Fantastic. Glad we could do that for you. And you've made ours. and
Aw.
our listeners.
Always.
Make sure you follow Jill on Twitter @JillOnMoney and read her blog posts that she links to in her Twitter feed.
I try.
And the fiscal cliff thing, read that. It's an interesting read.
Yeah.
All
She
right?
said, I said my mom wanted me to write about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that she still has an influence
That's
on you
Mama
after all these
Susan.
years.
Oh, please.
I know what a Mama Susan's all
You know
about.
all
I got
about
my
that.
own Mom
There you
Susan.
go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thrilled. No, I'm
Awesome.
kidding. She loves you.
And I love her.
We'll be back tomorrow, not live though. Obviously, the Apple event is going on tomorrow. You can tune in to CNET for our live blog
What time
and
is
live
that?
streaming coverage. That's going to be at our time at 12 noon Eastern time. So make sure, I think it's like Donald, Brian, Molly, Beecham, that whole crew is going to be walking you through the live blog. And you can watch the stream as they announce the
Da-da-da-da.
iPhone 7.
Or
a
9.
5, whatever they
Or
want to
whatever
call
it is.
This
And
is like
remember
the
the-
6th or 7th one they've done.
Remember, this is going to save the economy.
Right.
The Apple is going to save the economy. I'm so
Just
happy.
give them all your money and you'll be fine for
Exactly.
the rest of your life. All right.
Someone should Photoshop that poster of Uncle Sam doing I
I
want
want
you
you,
to buy an
right,
iPhone.
exactly.
That'd be great.
Oh, real quick, thank you, Beatmaster. I will be on TNT on Twit on Friday. So make sure you tune into that as well. We'll actually need to end our show a little early on Friday so I can do that.
Serious?
Well, they changed their time
Why don't you just
slot.
leave the show early?
Well, I'm going to do it in here.
Yeah, you can
So you guys got
do
to
it
leave.
symbolically.
So that'll be that Friday. Thank
Son
you
of a
for
bitch.
reminding me, Beatmaster. That'll do it for us. 866-404-CNET is the number to call. You can also email us, the404@cnet.com. And we will be back tomorrow, just not live. Will be recorded. What are you shaking your head
Unbelievable. Yeah, this guy's
Slacker.
going to leave
What?
our
What?
show on
That's
Friday
not a
to go
slack-
to another show?
It's a
Wow.
good
Unbelievable.
crew over
Benedict
there, man. I
Arnold.
have fun over. That's a good crew.
What are me and Ariel? We can hear you right now
Oh,
saying these things
my
about
God.
They're-
This
they
is
chop
rough.
liver?
They give us they
What? They
Can you-
what?
put going on there says we'll get more viewers and stuff. What? You don't know crap about flowers? All right, we're out of here,
So,
guys.
so this is when we have to just end.
I
Yeah.
can't believe you.
I don't like discord between
You
the
think
two
I'm
of
being
you.
a
know
traitor
that.
going on?
No,
feelings
I
are
just
hurt.
don't like discord between the two of you. Can't we all be
It's
friends?
Green Day all over again.
I know. That was brutal.
That was brutal. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Jeff Bagelar.
I'm Justin Yu.
I'm Jill Schlesinger.
And that's Ariel.
I'm Ariel
Nunez.
Nunez.
You
Yeah, pay
certainly are.
attention.
We never do that, but that's okay. 4-4 high tech, low brow. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.